China has seen several local outbreaks since last year, but right now the Delta wave is creating probably the most severe local outbreaks. So we've seen about 29 cities reporting local cases over the last month or so. So judging by the activity data in July, I think you can see that it's having some meaningful negative impact on consumers, particularly consumption of services like going to restaurants or traveling. And that is probably going to persist because we know that daily count cases are actually coming down to single digit, but it will take more time for that to go down to zero and also for the government to keep it at zero. So that means that we'll continue to see a high likelihood of a weak August activity data. And I think that it's coming on the back of tightening the property market. It's coming on the back of a slowdown in construction as well. So that in combination will probably push down Q3 growth. I think the bigger question is how much rebound we get in Q4 of this year. We think we'll get some rebound, but I think as we've seen with past waves, generally the rebounds are quite gradual, so they don't really all happen very quickly. More of that could be taking place only next year. So I think it is a negative impact on growth. So we're probably looking at something around 8.5% in terms of GDP growth this year, compared with 8.8%, which was our previous forecast. And probably on the back of that, more easing as well from the central bank and the fiscal policy side.
Sure. And what are your favorite markets? You are essentially looking at greater allocation to Japan, Taiwan, and Korea, despite the COVID risk.
Yeah, so I think that the broad argument is that we are taking actually a more cautious and defensive stance on equities. I think that at this point we're not entirely giving up on risk assets because the global cycle it's still ongoing. We're mid-cycle. There's still some growth ahead of us. But clearly, we're coming into a rough patch in terms of regional growth. Delta is creating a lot of uncertainty, not only in China, but also in other regional economies as well. So I think in view of that, would like to be more defensive. That's why we have Korea and Taiwan. These are sectors that have more secular tailwinds, semiconductors, industrial operating, automation, and also in China, the A-share, which has some of the policy beneficiaries as well. I think that is a more defensive stance compared with our position maybe a couple of months ago, where we were a little bit more positive on the cyclical growth recoveries here in Asia. I think in this environment, we also see some value in owning fixed income assets.